Hey friends, welcome back to my channel, Accidental Beauty. If you're new, welcome. My name is Laura. I'm a self-taught makeup enthusiast who just loves trying out makeup, and that's what we're going to be doing today. I've got a little bit of an Urban Decay haul, was gifted a couple products, bought a couple products, and I'm just going to be doing basically almost a full face of Urban Decay. So if you guys want to see my thoughts, try on, review, all of that, then please keep on watching. Okay, so right now all I have on my face literally is eyebrows. All right, so we have a whole bunch of Urban Decay stuff. Most of these were gifted to me. Most were gifted like, actually by a person. One I think was like a deluxe sample or something from Sephora, and then one of these I actually bought myself. So we'll just do a rundown. This is the Urban Decay All-Nighter Face Primer Longwear Foundation Grip. It's a primer from their all-nighter line to keep it all in the family. This isn't going to be a try-on, but I also have the all-nighter setting spray, so I feel like, the primer and the setting spray are probably meant to go together, so I will be using that. I have the Stay Naked Hydromaniac Tinted Glow Hydrator. I actually bought this myself. Also, what's interesting, just like side note, it's called a Tinted Glow Hydrator, which makes it sound like it's a tinted moisturizer, and then it says it's medium coverage. So I'm not too worried about that because, not that I don't like my skin, but I do get redness. I have eczema on my face. Thankfully right now my skin seems to be mostly under control, but you can't really see, but my skin, well, you can kind of see here, like my skin can kind of get a little like blotchy, especially around the areas that I normally have eczema flares. So I do tend to lean towards more higher coverage products because it just kind of smooths out everything. It keeps everything one color, and then I can, customize with like blush and bronzer and contour and all of that stuff. I'm very excited to try it out. I've heard very good things about this. And this is the Stay Naked Correcting Concealer. This one was gifted to me as well, so I'm hoping these will go nicely together, although actually now that I'm looking at this, I'm worried that this is going to be too light and this is going to be too dark. So we'll see what happens. Then we have a whole bunch of these Moondust eyeshadows also gifted to me. Yeah, one of these is in the old packaging, actually. This guy over here. It looks like that's older packaging just compared to the rest of these. But anyways, I have 4 shades. 3 of them kind of look very similar. And I think they're actually redoing these to make them vegan. And then I'm pretty sure with a lot of their eye products, not their palettes, but just like sort of eyeliners, single eyeshadows, and I think also their complexion products. They've started either redoing the products in new packaging and new formulas and stuff, or just coming out with new products that are completely vegan. So I'm guessing this is going to be probably like a 5-10 year like overhaul of the entire brand, and then eventually they're probably going to be completely vegan. That's just my guess. I have no like insider information. That's just sort of the sense I get from a lot of the marketing that they seem to be doing, and the fact that like they're stamping like vegan on everything. And it's not just Urban Decay. I've noticed a couple brands like Tarte has been doing this, and a few other brands where they come out with like vegan specific lines, and they start promoting like clean beauty and all of that sort of greenwashing stuff. So yeah, so I have 4 shades of these eyeshadows. Sorry, I have one more Moondust shadow, which is also really old packaging, it looks like. Okay, so I have 5 Moondust eyeshadows. This one is in the shade Diamond Dog, and it's kind of like a gunmetal-y kind of color. They're all sparkly. I don't know what kind of eye look I'm going to do with that, but we'll figure something out. And then I have another eye product also gifted to me. This is the Heavy Metal Glitter Liner, which again, I don't really know how I'm going to incorporate that with all of this glitter. It's going to be like a very like disco glittery kind of look, I think. And this one is in the shade Pyro, which is, I'm guessing, a very light, sparkly kind of color. Yeah. Oh, this is really pretty. Sorry, I have 2 more of these glitter liners also gifted. I have the shade Stage Dive, which is kind of like a greenish teal, and then the shade Spandex, which is a sparkly blue. Ooh, this is cool. This is like a dark green. I love this. Ooh, this is also really cool. And then I have this like giant pack of Vice lipsticks. So I honestly have been keeping this for a video and wasn't really sure how and when to use them. So anyways, we got some really fun colors in here. We've got like some, not neon, but like bright, like hot pink and purple and stuff like that. We have some like vampy colors with some bright like reds and oranges. And then we got like your standard nudes. Oh, and then we have some different finishes as well. So you got like sheer shimmer, comfort matte, cream. Okay, so I'm gonna zoom in and I guess we'll get started. All right, hello, this is my face. So to start off, we're gonna use the All Nighter Face Primer. This is like a stage 5 clinger. Wow, this is so dated. I'm pretty sure this is a more recent product. But like, who's this a stage 5 clinger anymore? Like, that's like very 90s. I feel like no one talks like that anymore. It very much has that sort of like 90s clubbing party kind of vibe. Like you're up until 3 a.m. at a club and like your face is like full of like glitter and sweat and all of that. That's kind of the vibe, which like, if that's your aesthetic, then like stick to it. And I feel like they stuck to it for a while and then they just kind of went off the rails and then they got really boring. So I wish they went back to kind of that like edgier, like Euphoria type vibes. I feel like now that is kind of back in style, that sort of like glitter, glamour, edgy kind of thing. Like I wish they'd just lean back into that because I feel like that works really well for this brand. Some of their products like fit that aesthetic and then they'll put out like, what was that palette they put out recently, the green one that just like, where did this come from? And then they also do those weird collabs, like they had that Prince one and then they had the Basquiat one, I think was also from them. And it's just like, where, like who is this brand? Anyways, sorry, I digress. Like a stage 5 clinger, All Nighter Face Primer grips your foundation and won't want to let go. Our lightweight formula goes on sheer to perfect your skin, leaving it smooth, hydrated, and slightly lifted. Okay, so that's what it looks like. It matches the setting spray really nicely. Okay, so it's this kind of primer. It sort of looks like the Too Faced Hangover Primer. It doesn't have a smell. Ooh, this is nice. Okay, now that I put it on, it's got a little bit of a smell. It's thicker than the Hangover Primer, and it's maybe a little bit sticky. It's not as heavy as like a really thick moisturizer, but it feels nice. I like it. I used to not understand the point of primers, and like maybe it's because my skin was younger. I don't know what happened, but like I didn't really see much of a difference when I used primers before. Granted, maybe I wasn't using the right primers for the right foundation, so like I didn't really see much of a difference. And then I noticed my skin has been aging, and I feel like anything I can do to keep products lasting on my skin all day, I will take it. Really hopeful that this will work. Okay, now that it's kind of settled down, it doesn't really feel like I have anything on my face. It doesn't look like, you know how some primers, kind of more of the like silicone-y ones, you can put it on and then you immediately see a difference. So I don't really see, maybe like a little bit of a sheen to my skin, but otherwise like I don't see any blurring or anything. But maybe this is more of a hydrating primer, so I don't know, we'll see. Anyways, let's try this foundation / tinted moisturizer, whatever. It's supposed to give you a glow. I've seen people review this and their skin looks beautiful, but I don't know if they're wearing like a glowy primer underneath. I don't know. I just wanted to try this out with kind of a more neutral primer. Also, I have all these Urban Decay products, so I wanted to try them all out together because that kind of makes sense. Just to use like products with other products that they're like intended to be used with. I'll also note that the primer has 1 fluid ounce or 30 mils. This tinted moisturizer foundation type thing actually has 1.1 fluid ounces or 35 milliliters. So a little bit more than your standard foundation. It says it's medium coverage. For some reason there's a period after that, and then it says up to 24 hours wear. I won't be testing that, but I guess that's good to know. It says it has kombucha filtrate and marula oil. Skin is significantly more hydrated after 24 hours. Interesting. Up to 24 hours glow. Dewy, juicy finish. Healthy looking skin glow. Who wrote this? This is like really strangely worded. Up to 24 hours wear. Weightless, medium coverage. Looks fresh all day. Kombucha filtrate and marula oil, and it's a vegan formula. All right, well, let's try it out. Urban Decay I haven't tried too many things from this brand because a lot of their eyeshadows are not vegan, but they have this foundation. I don't even know if they still make it. It's the All Nighter foundation, I think. This one. It is one of the best foundations I've ever tried. It is such a beautiful finish. It oxidizes really badly though, but I don't care because it's just such a nice foundation. I don't expect this one to have the same coverage, but Urban Decay does a lot of really nice complexion products, I must say. So I have high hopes for this. So inside the box it says, "The thirst is real." All right, calm down. I am very worried about this concealer because this is the shade 10 Ultra Fair. And then this concealer is in the shade 30 NN, so that's light, neutral, neutral. Do these have two undertones? I don't know what the deal is with that. Really, really nice tube, actually. Okay, I'm almost hoping that the foundation oxidizes a little bit so that this isn't the worst match. By the way, this is such luxurious packaging. I'll just read what it says on the concealer, actually, because I forgot to do that. So it says, "Stay naked, correcting concealer up to 24 hours wear, buildable, full coverage, flexible, breathable, does not transfer, real skin matte finish, corrects the look of imperfections, waterproof, vegan formula." All right, so let's try this. So it's got a very like small little thing. I don't even know like how much to use for this. And it doesn't say. I don't have like instructions or like best practices, no. It's very lightweight feeling. Oh, this is definitely going to be too light on me. It smells foundation-y, but like it's got a little bit of, I don't know, something nice in there. Like it's not perfumed, but it's not unpleasant either. I really like using a brush. Actually, I don't know how fast this dries down, so let's just apply. Coverage seems to be kind of on the light side. I feel like I probably didn't put enough product on here. And I'm just kind of like stamping it in. I don't know. Okay, let's put a bit more. I don't want to put too much product on. I'm starting to find, and I don't know if it's my skin or foundations or maybe just not enough primer, but like certain foundations will look really nice when I put them on. And then after like a few hours of wear, like, you know, 6 hours or so, it starts to break apart. And now I don't know if that's just, it's not a long wear foundation, but it looks really bad. Like it looks almost like it separates and it's cakey looking regardless of whether I set it with powder or not. Like it ends up looking kind of chunky, and this is kind of starting to do that. So I'm almost wondering if maybe a brush isn't the way to go. Maybe I should use a sponge. Just wetting my sponge a little bit with some Fix Plus. I would call this kind of more light medium coverage, but I am putting a thin layer on, so maybe that's why. I don't know if I'm seeing, oh, okay. I guess I'm seeing a bit of a glow. Using a really glowy primer underneath this would really benefit it, but it does build up really nicely. Ooh, I'm looking in natural lighting and this is beautiful. I'm gonna take a video in natural lighting because it's not really like my lights are kind of washing it out. So this is natural lighting. I'm standing in front of a window and like, look at how glowy that is. Obviously not the right shade for me. It's a little too light, but that is beautiful. You can still see like some of this little zit thing poking through. Like you can, it's not full coverage. I don't know if I'd even call it medium coverage. I feel like it's kind of light medium coverage, but this is so pretty. Okay, let's put some more products on my face so that I don't look so comical. Let's move on to the concealer. I am really nervous because this definitely looks like it's gonna be too dark. Ooh, that has a smell. So check out this doe foot. So it's like really, really bent and curved, like as if it's, you know, really designed to hug your sort of under eye area. I'm gonna put some on, but I'm really worried that this is definitely too dark. So this is matte, so I wanna keep a lot of that glow, but I also wanna match the shade properly. So I might just like put some kind of around the perimeter of my face. Okay, so yeah, this is a little dark for me. Okay, so I'm gonna just put some around here. Create that illusion of like light hitting your face where the sun is lighter towards the center of your face, or your light source is hitting you, and then it'll be darker kind of in the areas that the sun isn't directly hitting, if that makes sense. Okay, so I'm just gonna try and blend that in as much as I can. I do want to keep that glow though, and I realize I have a tendency to like hold my mirror up so that I can see what I'm doing, but then it's right in front of the camera. So I'm trying to be a bit more mindful of that. So I don't know, I don't love the way that products seem to be sitting on my skin, and maybe my skin is just too dry. Ugh, and I'm still getting that like redness coming through. Something tells me that sponge is not the way to go with this. Even though it blends it in nicely, I feel like it's removing too much of the product. You know what, maybe my fingers is the way to go? Okay, so let me just zoom in, and I want to just show you, I'm going to turn off my light. Okay, so there, you can kind of see, there we go. So it looks like it's almost like separating around here. Oh, wow, you can like literally see the line where, oh. Okay, it is actually removing product when I touch it. That is concerning. I don't think I like this primer. All right, let's just put a little concealer there and then hope it just stays in place. Adding foundation over top of the concealer that I just put down because neither of them are the right shade. Okay, let's see how that coverage looks when we focus. Okay, that is better. We're looking very glossy. I'll show you what the texture is looking like. Oh wow, you can totally see where I didn't blend products in. Okay, let's see if I can get a shot of my nose. Like, I don't know, can you see where like it looks like there's product that like separated or is like breaking up? I don't know, it's like this weird thing that happens on my skin. And I don't know if it's like because my skin is dehydrated or if I'm not using the right product. I don't know, product seems to sit weirdly on my skin. And like I do exfoliate and everything, so I'm not sure what's going on. It's creasing a little bit around my eyes, but not terribly, but we'll see how that wears throughout the day or whatever. From a distance, it looks really, really pretty. It looks very glowy. I definitely think you need to build this up though. I don't know if I'd go in with a whole glob of foundation and then blend it out. Like it definitely does build nicely when you add small layers, but it is really, really pretty. The concealer also isn't bad. I don't hate it. It's not my favorite and obviously the color isn't quite right, but I think this actually might work really nicely with the other Urban Decay foundation that I have that oxidizes. Okay, let's do my eyes next and then I can kind of figure out the rest of my complexion products. I'm gonna take these out and swatch them because I need to figure out what I'm doing. Anyway, so we have the shades Cosmic, Lithium, Space Cowboy, which I think that one is super popular. I've heard people talk about that shade, Glitter Rock, and Diamond Dog. Oh, this must be, oh, Moondust. Okay, so it's all like space themed, I guess. Some of these I don't really get the reference. Oh yeah, one more thing. These eyeshadows have caffeine as like last ingredient, second last ingredient. And like, okay, this romance copy on the back, the little like description, which doesn't really describe anything. Does somebody order a shot of sparkle? Our Moondust shadow comes in a thrilling range of glittery colors. This vegan formula even has a dash of caffeine to give your eye look that little extra jolt of energy. It's like, buddy, it's like the last ingredient on here. Like it's not doing anything. You know, I understand putting caffeine in eye products. Like it totally makes sense. I would much rather have that in like a concealer or something, especially one that says it's gonna like brighten and depuff and whatever. Like I'd rather have something like that in something that's actually going in kind of this area. I feel like if you're gonna have caffeine in this area, like I don't really know what it's gonna do, especially if it's such a low concentration of it. Ooh, okay. So this is what they look like. Very cool and modern. Honestly, I kind of want to just depot this and put it in like a magnetic palette, although actually I don't know if these are magnetic. Anyways, I mean, it's very modern. It reminds me of a paperweight, to be honest. This first shade, this is Space Cowboy. It's not a duochrome really, but like I'm just trying to show what the shade is like, so I kind of have to hold it at an angle, otherwise it just gets washed out. Sort of like a peachy, like a cool tone peachy dusty rose kind of color. This one is the shade Lithium. It's sort of like a grayish, browny greenish kind of situation. Okay, ooh, that's nice. This one's Cosmic. This one's just like sort of a white with like a little bit of a pink to it. It's just showing up mostly white on camera. All right, so we have this shade, which is Glitter Rock. So, okay, this is older packaging. Ooh, actually the new ones are 1.8 grams and 0.06 ounces. The old ones are 1.5 grams and 0.05 ounces. So you actually get a little bit more in the new ones. The old ones do not have caffeine, and they don't say that they're vegan. All right, so it says you've never seen a sparkly shadow this sophisticated. Microfine bits of iridescent sparkle collide with intense dreamy hues and 3D metallics for an effect that's out of this world. So very much leaning into that space theme, which also, like, that's a really cool thing to do. Like, really lean into that. This is a chunky boy. So this is what this older packaging looks like. Ooh, very pretty though inside, which is just kind of like a pretty pinky purpley color. It's got what I'm guessing is their old tagline, which is beauty with an edge. Like, nothing about this brand is edgy these days. You don't see too many edgy brands anymore in Sephora, especially the fact that like everyone's trying to hop on this clean beauty trend and everyone's trying to look minimal and all the packaging kind of looks the same these days. Set yourself apart by doing something at least visually different with the packaging. Like, I'd love to see Urban Decay and KVD and like a lot of these brands that started out kind of like edgy counterculture really lean back into that. You can still have totally clean, vegan, whatever ingredients, but just on the shelves be a little different. I think even consumers are getting sick of seeing the same packaging over and over again. Like, people want to see innovation, and I know innovation is hard. Believe me, I'm a creative, I get it. Set yourself apart from other people. And then we have Diamond Dog, which is sort of similar-ish to Lithium without that kind of like greeny tint. This is kind of more of like a straight up silvery kind of color. And then we have the eyeliners as well. Pyro, Stage Dive, love this color. And then Spandex. Okay, so I'm going to swatch all of these on my arm. Cosmic, very, very sheer, sparkly kind of nothingness. Then we have Space Cowboy. Okay, this one has a bit more pigment. Lithium. Okay, so this one has a bit more pigment as well. No, that one's very opaque. Glitter Rock. Okay, that one's a little bit more sheer as well. And then Diamond Dog. That one's also more opaque. But then we have these glitter liners. So we have Pyro, very, very sheer. Okay, you can kind of see that. This one is Stage Dive. Okay, so it's like straight up glitter. Like, you can see it, but like it's gonna be difficult to get that opaque. And then Spandex. I mean, really, really pretty. All right, so let's put down some eye primer. So I'm going to use my NYX Glitter Primer. Too bad I don't have the Urban Decay eye primer. That would have been good. I don't know. I don't make any money from these videos, so it didn't really make sense to really buy something like just for the sake of a video, especially because these aren't new products. Like, I could kind of maybe justify it a bit more if it was a new product or a new brand even. This is a good time to remind people, if you enjoy my videos, if you do watch them, please just like comment like a star emoji or something below just to show that like you're watching, that you're interested. I don't know, any kind of engagement sort of tells the platforms, whether it's YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, it tells the platforms that you're interested in seeing more of my content. It'll show more of my content to you and also show my content to other people who kind of fit the same demographic and interests as you. Yeah, that just really helps me out and hopefully helps me grow as a small creator. It just, every little bit counts. Yeah, so let's start out with the shade Space Cowboy. And I'm going to put that on the inner part of my lid. It picked up pretty well on a brush. Yeah, actually it's applying really nicely. I probably wouldn't do an all glitter look, especially not every day. Like, I definitely use some of these sheerer shades as toppers. Ooh, that's actually really pretty on its own though. Like, because these are so sheer, I don't expect them to build up at all. All right, next shade I'm going to use is Glitter Rock. Ooh, this one picked up actually really well on my brush. And I probably could spray these just to get a little more pigment. Ooh, that actually applied really nicely. Again, very Euphoria vibes today. Not what I normally go for, a lot softer than what I normally go for. That's okay, I like to experiment with my makeup anyways. I like to try and force myself out of my comfort zone also. All right, so the next shade is Lithium. You can see that it's a bit more opaque and it's showing up a lot better on my brush. Ooh, that's got like a really strong green shift. This one's actually kind of duochromy. I love that. Okay, this one's a lot more like kind of grungy. It's a very unique color. Really, really cool. I might just blend that whole thing into my crease actually. Just gonna kind of like windshield wiper that into my crease and then I'll blend it out properly later. All right, and then the last one is, I can't remember, Diamond Dog? Yeah, Diamond Dog. So yeah, that one also picked up really nicely on the brush, and that's gonna be kind of the outer V color. So I'll just create that V. Almost got like a little bit of like purple in it. I like to really wing out my eyeshadow. I just think on my eye shape, it's really flattering. I'm just gonna take a small blending brush and I'm just gonna smoke that out, blend it into my crease so we can build up some color there. And then that just gives this look a lot more dimension. And now I just wanna blend where the pinky purple color glitter rock, where that one meets the more brownie shades, because it is kind of like a stark contrast. So if I can kind of blend that line in the center so it's a little less harsh, I'm gonna go back into that shade Glitter Rock, and just with my fingers I'm just gonna tap some on right along that line. I wanted to put Pyro in the inner corner, and because it's glitter kind of suspended in a gel, I don't need to put down primer, which is always nice. It's so light that if I mess up, you can barely see it anyways. But the reflect is really, really pretty. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna just bring that down a little bit because I messed up on one side. And then just to match that, I'm gonna do a line going up because otherwise kind of look like Itachi from Naruto, which like isn't a bad thing, but I don't know if I'm going for that vibe today. So I've got these two shades, and I don't think the green works, but I want to incorporate it somehow. With the blue, I think I'm just going to do like a regular liner. I think I can get away with like green kind of like underneath. I don't know. Let's start out with the blue and then see how I can incorporate the green. This is glitter liner, so it's not going to be fully opaque. I think actually this would be best to do like your regular liner and then this on top. Yeah, I probably should have done that, but it's too late now. And I think I'd rather this type of product in like a pot or something so I can also use it as a glitter topper on my lids. Okay, so now we're gonna get weird. I'm gonna put some green, maybe just like under my lower lash line. Okay, so I'm kind of just like focusing this towards the outer part of my eye, and then we're just going straight into that wing. Also doing this just like makes your eyes look bigger. So I like to put a lot of like darker color kind of like on the outer V, but also underneath. We got like a little color going on. Oh, now you can really see that green and you can kind of see that blue. This is just like kind of putting more of my spin on this type of look. We still have the shade Cosmic. I'm gonna take that and put it in my brow bone area. Ooh, that is pretty. So applied like this, it looks like sort of a traditional highlight. It is glittery, but it's not as like sparkly, particle-y as like the glitter liners look. Actually, once you put the eyeshadows on, if you look really close up, they look glittery, but from far away, they kind of look like metallic-y, almost wet, but not quite there. Let's see how this works as a highlight. Okay, so on my face, actually, when you blend it out, that is a really pretty highlight. Let me finish this, and then you might be able to see it better on this side. Ooh, oh, that is so pretty. That is such a pretty highlight. Oh my god, you know what? I kind of just want to use this as highlight from now on. This as a highlighter, yes. Yes, yes, yes. I kind of want to put some of these lipsticks on my face. This shade up here called Conspiracy. We can try and do like an interesting sort of contour bronzer situation. This is definitely going to be too dark, so I might blend it up and try and turn it into a blush if this doesn't work. I'm only going to use like a little bit. Okay, I mean, it's sitting actually quite nicely. It blends out really well with my fingers though. Honestly, I hate these like teeny tiny little like blister pack things because you can usually get more than one use out of them, and it's just really annoying to like reuse them and have to reseal them. It's like a whole ordeal. While this concealer is creasing, it's actually creasing a lot less than a lot of other ones do. A lot of them settle and like they look almost like spidery the way that they settle into my fine lines, and like while this one is also settling into my fine lines, it doesn't look as like spidery, veiny. I need another lipstick for blush. Okay, so I'm going to use the shade Backtalk as my blush, and then I think I'm going to use the shade Amulet as my lip color. Normally I don't use lipstick as blush, but you really can use makeup products for multiple different uses. You don't have to just use it for what it says it's supposed to be used for. I just would like avoid anything in like the waterline area or like anywhere really like close to like your eyeball, if it's not really intended for that area. I'm just gonna use a sponge just to tone it down just a little bit. I love a good kind of like cooler tone blush. I think that's really pretty. And then lips. So normally I would use a lip liner probably. I don't even know if Urban Decay actually makes lip liners. They probably do. Since I don't have one from Urban Decay, I really want to stick to as many Urban Decay products as I can use. You really can't like overline your lips with a shiny lipstick like this because you can absolutely see where your natural lips end because it's shiny. This looks like one of those Snapchat or Instagram filters. I think that's all my Urban Decay products. Let me just zoom in and show you how my face is looking, because the texture looks a lot better than before. It's like sitting on my skin nicer. It's kind of hard to explain. Okay, let me turn off my lights. I should have done this before the lipstick. Oh, so this is what I was saying about the under eye area. You can see the crease, like you can see my fine lines, my crow's feet. Like you can see it's creasing a little bit under my eyes, but it's really not the worst. Like I've definitely seen concealers do a lot worse than this, so I'm actually quite happy with this. And then let's take a look at how my nose is looking. Like really not that bad. Forehead, also really not bad. Like you can definitely see that I'm wearing foundation on. Look at how glittery. I don't think it's creasing. I don't know. It's very glittery, so like it looks very textured. Okay, so I guess this is kind of a check-in after lunch. So I've been wearing this for 2 hours now, and this is how it's looking after putting like the rest of my complexion products on. Just want to see if you can like see the texture on my face. You definitely can see that glow across the center of my face and beyond. I would have preferred it to be a little bit more dewy personally, but I like it. It's nice. I think once this has been sitting on your skin for a while, it actually settles in quite nicely. Whereas some other foundations that I've tried, like they look beautiful right when you put them on, and then the longer they sit on your skin, the worse they kind of look. I would probably wear this like a little more sheared out. As much as I put on today, or maybe even a little bit less. My skin looks really nice, really glowy. I don't know if I'd call it dewy necessarily. I don't think it's quite there. It's like almost there. I would have even preferred a little bit more dewiness, but okay, we got like a tiny bit of transfer, so I feel like if there was more dewiness, it probably would transfer more. I'm gonna put on some all-nighter setting spray. So just let that dry. In the meantime, I'm gonna put on lashes, mascara. I'm almost tempted to just put on mascara, but I feel like because this look is so glittery textured, I feel like my lashes will just get lost. I think I'm gonna put on maybe some more subtle lashes, liner, mascara, and my wig, and then I'll be back to show you the final look. So this is the final look. kind of a neutral look. I feel like I chose a very neutral wig subconsciously just to go along with it. Anyways, let's do a rundown of the products that we tried out today. The All-Nighter Face Primer. Like, obviously I've only tried it with this foundation, so I'll probably have to try it some more, but just going based off of first impressions, like I'm already seeing some separation almost with my foundation. That's concerning. Now, I don't know if that's from my wig, because it looked fine like a minute ago, so I'm hoping the wig just kind of, I don't know, like shifted things around, but it's also concerning that it's not staying in place. And I feel like a tackier primer might have done a better job keeping things where they're supposed to be. So I'm gonna give this primer a 3.5 out of 5 because it didn't really wow me. It didn't really like blur, or what did it say it was supposed to do? Smooth? Perfect your skin, smooth, hydrate it, lift it. Like, I don't know if I see really any like lifting. Smoothing, like hard to tell. Hydrating, I definitely felt. It's fine. I don't know if I would necessarily recommend it or even purchase this after I run out. It didn't really impress me. Like, I would wear that maybe on its own as like an extra moisturizer, but like that's kind of it. Next, the Stay Naked Hydromaniac Tinted Glow Hydrator. I like this a lot. I think I'm gonna have to play around with this and maybe use a different primer because it does look like it's sort of breaking up in some areas, but I have been touching my face a lot. Also, it's a dewy, glowy kind of product, so those tend to have a little bit more slip and they tend to slide around, I think, a bit more than like a sort of traditional matte. But I'm curious if like a more grippy primer might do a better job keeping it in place while still keeping that glow. So I'm going to try it out a bit more. I think I give it first impressions like a 4.5 out of 5 because it looks beautiful. It's just like kind of breaking up weirdly in some places. But again, I don't know if that's because of the primer or the way that I applied it. Also, I'm going to have to play around with a couple different methods of like how I apply it, and maybe just blending out with my fingers might be the best way to go. I'm not really sure. But I do like it. I love the finish. It doesn't look like it oxidized. I guess that's a good thing, that it's, you know, pretty true to color. Although next time if I repurchase this, I think I go like one shade darker maybe. The concealer, the Stay Naked Correcting Concealer. I actually really like this. While it did crease a little bit on me, it's definitely one of the more crease-proof concealers that I've tried. It says that it's full coverage. I guess I consider it, yeah, like I guess it's pretty full coverage, but very, very lightweight. So if you like full coverage, but you don't love the really thick, cakey feeling concealers like a Tarte Shape Tape type, you might actually really enjoy this. It's not really settling too deeply in my fine lines, so I actually quite like this. I think I give this a solid 5 out of 5. Well done. Then I have all of the eyeshadows. They all pretty much perform the same, like some of them are more sheer, some of them are more opaque. They're beautiful, they're not creasing or anything. I mean, I did put down an eye primer, but still, like they look really nice. Very disco, club, euphoria type vibes. So if you like that type of thing, this is definitely for you. They do remove very easily with soap and water, but you will be left with like a whole bunch of sparkles on your face. I was swatching them on my arm earlier, and I still have sparkles all over me like a Twilight vampire. So keep that in mind. If you don't like glitter, you're gonna hate this. The pressed eyeshadow is also beautiful as a highlight. I think this is like the star of the show. It is beautiful on the eyes, but I think on the face, it really shines, no pun intended. These I'm gonna give a solid 5 out of 5. They're beautiful. I really, really like them, even though I prefer like an opaque eyeshadow. I lean more towards that. They're beautiful, and I think I could probably get away with, like, of the sheer ones, I think I could probably get away with using all of them as highlighter, although the shade Cosmic, I think? Cosmic? Yeah, this shade Cosmic, the lightest one, is just chef's kiss. Beautiful, beautiful highlight. But on the eyes too, like if you want that sort of washed out, sheer glitter euphoria look, these will definitely do the trick. The eyeliners I quite liked. I really wish that they were more like a glitter metallic finish. I guess a metallic base in the matching color. And then the glitter particles, I think I would have preferred that a bit more. It does look pretty, and for this type of look, it does go. But then when you rub it and stuff, like eventually you're just kind of left with like glitter particles. So again, if you're going for that euphoria kind of ethereal glitter bukkake vibe, then you'll like this. I want something that's opaque, and then I can kind of dress it up, dress it down, do whatever I want with it, make it more or less formal, make it more or less glitter party or a bit more office appropriate. And I feel like this is just you're going clubbing. Like this is the vibe. Now, I haven't tried this, but I imagine you could just like sort of brush some onto your finger and then pat it over top. And eyeshadow is sort of like a glitter topper. I also feel like the color kind of like faded a little bit. So it's like a little less opaque even than when I started. Just going in, know that you're not going to get full opacity with this. It's going to be pretty sheer. It's really pretty as like an inner corner highlight or as a topper like I mentioned. So like I love what it's doing in like my inner corner here. But as far as like actual eyeliner, I don't know if this method of application is really the best for this type of thing. Like if you're going to call it an eyeliner, then I wouldn't want a sheer base. Because really it's like a sheer kind of gel or like a clear gel that it's sitting in, and then you have the glitter. And I'd rather it be pigmented, opaque or semi-opaque gel, and then you have the glitter to add more texture to it. But that's just me personally. So really these are more like toppers, I feel like. So in that case, I'd rather it be in like a jar or something, and then that way you can kind of apply it better. Even if you're just like wearing regular eyeliner, whether that's liquid or pencil eyeliner, you can put these on top and it'll be a cool effect, but it's just like I call these toppers, not liners. I'm gonna give them a 3.5 out of 5, I think. The lipsticks, they're really nice. They actually work really nicely as blush and contour. I definitely want to try that more, just kind of like as I work through these lipsticks, because I'm not really going to be wearing them much probably as like traditional lipsticks. But on that note, as a traditional lipstick, I mean, this is really pretty. It's comfortable. I mean, I can feel it on my lips. I don't typically wear these types of lipsticks just because of the transfer and the fact that they don't last through food typically. Really pretty array of colors. It's just I'm more of a liquid lipstick type of person, but that's a personal thing. The lipsticks are good, like for what they are, you know, I would consider them multi-purpose, even though they're probably not safe to use like everywhere on your face, but I give these a solid 5 out of 5. I like them. And then I had the all-nighter setting spray, which I've been using for years. It's like a tried and true. I always go back to it. So yeah, that's an 11 out of 5. It's not going anywhere. So that is everything from my little Urban Decay haul try-on. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. I feel like everyone's at least tried something from Urban Decay, but feel free to comment below what your favorite Urban Decay product is, and if you tried anything from the products that I mentioned, or if you have any recommendations. I'd love to hear your thoughts below. If you like the type of looks that I do here on my channel, normally they're a lot more like over the top. Like to me, this is a very toned down look. But if you like kind of bold, over the top color, lots of really intense looks, big lashes, alternative kind of goth fashion, then I'm sure you'll enjoy the content that I post on my other social media accounts. And I always leave links in the description box below so you can check those out if you're interested. It just really helps me out as a small creator if you engage with my posts, if you follow, if you interact, comment, like. It just tells the platforms that you're interested in my content, and then from my understanding of the way these algorithms work is it sort of boosts my posts so that other people with sort of similar interests to you will see my posts, and then my audience broadens. So that just really helps me out as a small creator if you can just interact in any way, really. And if you enjoy the content that I post here on my channel and you want to see more, I'd love it if you could subscribe and just interact as well. Also, just, you know, tells YouTube that my content is interesting and might show it to other people. And if you can turn on notifications, that way you'll get updated every time I post a new video, and I'll see you guys next time.